Rise and shine. It's a new weekend, and we're really excited to have you join us on Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. Enterprise Television, it is. I am Henry Igwibiki.
And I'm Roberta Obiefo.
All right, so let's kickstart our weekend today with all that we have for you from our newspaper review segment, of course, to our main conversation also for today. So while we get everything all sorted out for you, please do well to join our community, have a say in what we say, belong to our tribe by visiting our site at enterprisetvnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With us today in the studio to do justice and of course analyze and peruse through all that we have, Barrister Evans Ofeli, a barrister at law and public affairs. Let's good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My pleasure.
And welcome.
Yeah.
All right, let's kickstart like this with the Saturday Punch newspaper. The big story here says how hashtag end bad governance protest cost NIA DSS bosses their jobs. And the writer here says why we celebrate Beachy's exit DSS officers.
Also on Punch this Saturday morning, kidnappers abduct doctors to treat gang members, says NERD.
And of course, a tribute to the legend herself, Onyeka Owen, buried in Lagos.
All right, and this one says, I spent 10 months in prison for resigning via text message, says a 26-year-old photographer.
All right, so let's get into this particular big story here. How hashtag end bad governance protest cost NIA DSS bosses their jobs. Barrister Evans Ofeli, I know it's a while now since, of course, we discussed this on this show, and it's coming up now to say that the hashtag end bad governance possibly was the reason why the NIA and the DSS bosses lost their jobs. I don't know how true that is, but if it is, do you think that is really what the story is about?
I've not read the full story, but for me, I don't think that is what cost them their jobs. I don't know the perspective where the writer
is coming from.
Yes, I don't know the perspective, but I know that Beachy, the DSS boss, had already retired. He had retired like 5-6 years ago, before Buhari brought him in to come and head the DSS. Then we were all saying that this man is not fit. Okay, if you look at how he had led the DSS, even in the DSS, there was mass resignation. Remember in March, there was a story like that.
Yeah, we discussed that.
Yes, a lot of people were leaving the DSS. So part of the issue was also that the DSS almost became of disrepute, because they were now involved in so many things they ought not to have been involved in. I mean, the leadership was not good at all. You understand? This is someone who retired before. So for him to leave now, and then you say it's the DSS, the end bad governance protest that caused it. I can't really say about that. Then the NIA boss resigned. He resigned
Abruptly.
Yes, he just resigned. So the reasons are not clear. Okay, so if it's connected to the end bad governance or whatever, but the NIA, they were not really in the spotlight in this protest. It was the police, the DSS, and possibly the other law enforcement agents that were at the spotlight. It was the police mainly that were arresting people and arbitrarily and not releasing them as at when they should do so. So for the NIA, though they have said the reason he resigned, like I read that the reason he resigned was connected to the monies found at Osborne some years ago.
Okay.
Yes, there are foreign currencies found at Osborne so many years ago. That is what led to. So this one they are saying in this paper, I wouldn't know, maybe it's just to market that story. But the two of them, I don't think they were ever in the spotlight for the bad and bad governance protests.
Okay.
Okay, so let's of course talk about this issue. Kidnappers abduct doctors to treat gang members, says Nad. Now, I know we've said it here before that it's possible. In fact, one of our virtual guests did say that it's possible that John Akirele, particularly, he said that it's possible that some of these people who abduct medical practitioners is possibly because they are using them to treat people, their members, of course, because they can't make it to most of the public or private hospitals.
Yes.
Now, this is becoming like a story, a narrative, and with the kidnap of the medical students also, it's equally tailing towards the same narrative also. But how do we get to stop this, if it's ever possible to have this stopped?
It's becoming very dangerous. So the kidnappers are not only after their financial needs.
Also,
They are also kidnapping professionals to solve their health needs and other needs. So it means that this thing has graduated beyond just ransom. Okay? So it has gone beyond ransom. That's what I'm saying. I remember when Ozekome was kidnapped. He said during the process, when he was kept in the bush and they were asking for ransom and they were negotiating with the family,
yes.
he became sick. He became sick, and one of the kidnappers set drip for him and treated him with malaria. He said when the guy was trying to do that, he refused. The guy now told him that if you don't, we'll just kill you. Look at my eyes, well, I'm a medical doctor qualified. As he set the drip inside the bush and treated him of malaria, because you have to keep your captor safe, keep him alive to be able to communicate that he's alive so that the ransom can come. Because if he dies through the process, they will not pay the ransom again.
And then business.
So now if it has gone beyond that, it now tells you that there's a failure of system to say that those who are doing this kidnap, they are not just touts or unschooled people. These are people that are schooled. Have you paid ransom before? If you have paid ransom, because my friend was kidnapped, so I was involved in the negotiation. If you have paid ransom before, you will know that it takes wit before you will drop the money. See, every call they make, they will leave that location. Every call, once you make a call now, they will leave that location to another, maybe like 200 kilometers away from that place they made that call. Because you can track them with the calls and location.
Yes.
And that is how you, with the money, you will be moving. That's how you'll be moving with the money. Until they ask you to drop it in a particular place. And just start going. They will tell you to keep running. You understand? So, this couldn't have been what can be concocted by less intelligent people. You understand? So it takes a lot. So we should know that the high rate of kidnapping in the country is not unconnected to unemployment. It's not unconnected to the breakdown of the economy. Okay. There's a place in Oshogbo where they ask for soup and gari as ransom. So that is a clear indication that these people are hungry. Bring one bag of gari, cook soup, make sure it's like this, and keep it here. You will see your son at this point, at that time, at social time. So before you get your son, part of the members have carried the gari and the soup.
Okay.
Then your son will now emerge. That's the ransom. So it tells you that there's problem.
All right, so let's move on to the Saturday Vanguard today, and we have it. The big story here says why our security can't track kidnappers. Of course, we just finished talking about that. This is a special investigation, and we have some writers here. Fault not from our ends. That's the NCC, and politicians used tracking device for mistresses, enemies instead of criminals. That's actually a very funny one. What else do we have?
All right, so on Vanguard, we have oil theft reduced Nigeria's output by 27.4% to 1.4 million per barrel in 10 years. And still on Vanguard, we have 2027 opposition in display. Proposed coalition against Tinubu, APC threatened.
All right, on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have Bruno Labbadia rejects the Eagles job.
Okay, now let's also look below the Vanguard this morning on hardship. Mother feeds children with animal feeds.
Yes, and still on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, police issued fresh summon to NLC presidents. And yes, so that's it on the Saturday Vanguard. But let's go to sports for a while. And of course, because it connects, to what makes us happy people, what keeps us busy. The new proposed coach of the Super Eagles, Bruno, the talks were still ongoing, and just at that point he said he wasn't interested any longer. Now, when I went through that story in depth, he said that he was excited for the job and the move, but he was totally taken aback when the NFF went to announce that he was the coach, when so many things were yet to be discussed.
Now, agreed on.
They
signed.
Yes. So when this is coming from the NFF, it still boils down on leadership ineptitude.
In fact, at the level of proposal,
yes,
they are not even supposed to announce anything. The terms and conditions have not been signed. He's not the official coach of the Super Eagles, because the talks were still ongoing, negotiation was still ongoing. They have not even arrived at what is going to take home. The pay, the work condition. I know the work condition was that he will have to lead us to qualify for the Nations Cup and the World Cup.
Exactly.
You understand?
Okay.
So, like, that is the probation period. Then after which, if we qualify for those ones, then they will make it official that he will now become the permanent coach for some years. But while all that were going, they've gone to announce that he's now the coach. I mean, a reasonable person who is disciplined enough will know that this is a red flag. Also, the fact that many of the coaches that have coached have had difficulties with NFF in terms of work condition. Okay, sometimes they want these foreign coaches to do some of the things we do here that are unknown to them, to either give or take gratification, or to bring in for the coach to be getting phone calls that this player is a must, he must be on the pitch. You understand? This thing we do about nepotism. Maybe the Senate president's cousin, or maybe one minister's one boy.
Interesting.
They will tell you he was playing in Spain. He was playing in Spain before and all that. If you dig deep, you find that he just maybe went to Europe through Niger Republic and Mali and all that, and they will bring him that his package. And most of these coaches, they are looking for merit because they want the job done. But we are not a merit people. No, we are not. But ours is, we have our own consideration, and those considerations are for survival. These things, because see, all the same, he was still going to leave.
He was still going to leave.
Yes, he will not be able to do the job. How many have they brought before him?
But that brings to my mind, and I tend to wonder, are there no Nigerians who can actually take up the role as the coach of the Super Eagles? Why do you have to bring expertise or anyone from abroad to come and do this?
There
are,
but most of them have been found wanting. They have been given opportunities now. From Sondolise to Guavon to the other Yoruba man. How many of them?
But we would never
but
find...
they are not able to qualify you anywhere, apart from their Asaba man, what's his name? Stephen Keshi. And Siasia. Those ones tried. Those ones had other issues. It's not even enough to qualify. You see that thing they are saying, qualify us to this and that?
Yes.
That's the one you are seeing. There are other unspoken rules. That if you don't give in, you have problem.
But the question still boils down on the NFF. I know too well that the sporting ecosystem is so guarded. You know that when you touch the sporting administration, FIFA has a way of clamping down on economies and country and so on. But I don't know. How do you think we can, get to have a perfect administration for NFF without necessarily, faulting the
look at how the ministers, the people from the Minister of Sports, and Youth Development to the NFF and the staffers, what is the recruitment process? How do they emerge? You understand? Are these people really football administrators, or they're just people that have an idea of what football should be? Because I know that in the West, they take people who either have studied sports science or sports administration, or those who have played, who have considerable experience in it and all that. But here, most of our appointments are transactional. They are compensatory. They are for survival. Okay, so merit is not on the table. Okay, it's not a consideration. They will just the current Minister for Sports, a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So what is it going to do there? Is there motion to move there, or this final address to adopt? So you don't have the right people in places, and when you don't have the right people in places, that's why you must be a lawyer or someone who is far thrown away from sports administration for you not to have a bicycle for an athlete. Someone who studies sports or who have considerable experience in sports and sporting activity, or who used to be an athlete himself, cannot forget that you don't have equipment, or cannot say the excuses that the one we ordered have not arrived.
But is it
you have 4 years to prepare for this thing?
But is this a question of administration? Because you necessarily don't need to have someone who has been there, done that, to manage.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is that there are certain lapses and mistakes that are unpardonable. It's like someone that is going to farm. He gets to the farm and discovers that he has no cutlass. So he has to go back home when he's supposed to. So it means that from the outset, there is incompetence. Okay, you need not be an athlete, or you need not be someone that have studied anything related to sports for you to know how to manage. Because management is actually different from, those streamlines. But we are getting to see that sometimes our athletes have no money. They are stranded. There was one that the footballers, right? They go to the airport and the bus picked them from the airport straight to the pitch where they're going to play football.
Yes. And
after flying for many hours.
In the recent Olympics, there was a lady who was supposed to participate in a particular sport, but apparently did not have, I think, cyclist or so.
Yeah, that's
cyclist.
what I was talking
So,
about.
all of these lapses,
the Germans now had
to borrow us.
You can imagine. Another nation had to borrow another nation.
How about the ones that the footballers got to at the airport after they finished the football, whatever? They didn't have money to board the aircraft back. So the coach, Mikel Obi, had to bring money from his own to pay for everybody to be able to return. A serious country, the Super Eagles will have an aircraft of their own. I went to a university in can't remember the state again. Louisiana in the US. The university have an airport
of its own.
Yes. They have an airport where they study aeronautic engineering. In Arizona, there's an estate in Arizona. Everybody that live there have a private jet. They have an airport in the estate. When you drive out from your house, you pull through into the airport, you park.
Yes.
You take the jet, fly out to work.
Yes.
When you come back, you land at the airport, you take your car, you move. Is that not human beings? So why should Super Eagles rely on commercial You understand? I would rather that the president take commercial jet to wherever he's going to than that aircraft be given to athletes. Yes, because they are the one actually representing the country. The president is not representing anything. He's just flying up and down.
Well, so going for meetings that will help
Which
the
meetings?
nation.
Which meetings?
He said we should be patient with him.
So
In due time, we'll get the results.
if we are serious about Super Eagles, our athletes and all that, because we know we have the talent,
Of course.
but we have failed to manage, just like every other team in the country, we have failed to manage the athletes, the sporting space. You understand? And we have failed to also provide resources for them to operate. Go to places like Japan and you see what is voted for sports. Okay, go to a country like the US, that sports is, but we're not doing anything because sports can actually bring a lot into the country.
Yes.
But tourism and so many other things.
Investors. Yes.
But we don't get it right. All you need to do is during election campaign, just make yourself visible.
Okay.
Work for one politician. Now they don't call me again. If you know how many politicians that used to call me when during the elections, and anyone I call to come here, they'll come here. No matter how big or small, they'll come to this place. But make yourself visible. Let them know you work for them. Deliver your polling units.
Okay.
Maybe your state, your local government,
Yes.
just deliver it.
Yes.
When they get into office, when they are doing appointment, they'll collect the name of everybody who worked. You understand? And they start to throw them to.
An appointment.
They can just make you minister for sports. Does not matter whether you know anything. See, the idea is not for you to go there and work. It's compensatory. They just
Work I
compensate.
have done.
Yes. So it's transactional. So when you get there, you now begin to do trial and error. So is that how to lead a country forward? You can't do that.
Very so unfortunate. And
We
while
can't.
we deliberate on this very sad matters, just yesterday, Okun, a Nigerian who represented South Africa,
Yes.
came up with gold with 400 meters in the championship, represented South Africa. This is a medal that should go to us, but it's gone to South Africa.
And that's why
Because
you have,
it's a South African athlete. He's a South African athlete.
and that's why you have a lot of our footballers who would
because
actually make more money from outside.
But as an athlete, it's very easy for you to get dual citizens.
Yes.
Yes, it's very easy.
Profession, yes.
Okay, look at our girls on the basketball. You understand? Our girls representing the US, even in basketball, look at the skills. You understand? On our own area. Look at even the local base. The team, over 80% or 90% of them are based abroad.
Yes, definitely. True.
They're only flying our flag because of when you call patriotism.
Yes.
Are based abroad. Look at the Jamaicans. Look at the last World Cup, the Brazilians. How many Nigerians were on that pitch? About 5 of them playing for Brazil. Okay?
This country puts a lot of administration, management, and other incentives to encourage the players. So, when you do that for a person or a group of people, your employees, they'll definitely bring out the best in them.
The country has not encouraged us at all.
Yes.
Just look at how they treated you while you are in the university. You tell them you want to study this course, they ask you to go and study
They
this course.
mandate you to do something else.
So, as a child that is 17, 18, you are wondering why your own country.
And let's not even talk about how they increase school fees without even prior notice.
Yeah, so
And
at
mandatory
the end
for
of
you
the
to
day,
pay.
it's just a difficult situation. Your country don't have regard for you. So why should other country respect you?
Well, we can say this over and over and over and over again, but of course that is the sad reality before us as a people. As a people with hope, we continue to believe things will get better. But that's just about the time we have for this segment. Thank you, Pastor Francis.
Thank you very
My
much.
pleasure.
Yes, and just to let you know, he will be around to take us possibly on our main conversation for today.
Yes, and when we do return, after a season of indirection, indecision, and perhaps indiscretion, the NNPC says it is looking for private owners for the Kaduna and Warri refineries. But the question is whether they can be taken seriously this time. Just stay with us.